This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome, Jason Walker Show, Wednesday. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice. Where you have it repaired, choose Capital Collision Center. Coming up today, we'll talk about the Bobcat men clinching a Big Sky Conference title for the first time, at least the share, for the first time in 2 decades, with Alex Eschelman. That's what she said Wednesday. Also brought to you by Dinner's Done Right. Also, Lance Hartzler is going to wax poetic about the Grizz men and women on this day in history. And we'll get you to your Frontier Conference women's players of the year and coach of the year and all that. But you can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, TreasureStateRadio.com, and go to JasonWalkerShow.com. You can also check us out on the Twitter or you can get a hold of us at JWalkerSports there on the Twitter, and also phone number is 406-209-1267. So, where do we start today? Oh goodness! All right, let's start with an update on the men's Frontier Conference Tournament Championship. We know that Tech didn't really win, even though they won. The shot that didn't count. Remember this one? Yeah, here it is again. Putting it up on the screen. The shot that didn't count. Oh, here we go. We got to zoom back in. Shot clock at 0. Ball still in Drew Hughes' hands with 4.6 on the clock. Okay. Daniel Shepard, 406mtsports.com, wrote a great article about it. And he spoke with the supervisor of basketball officials for the Frontier, Mike Fisher, who said, plain and simple, that the shot should not have counted. Quote, if we would have had replay and they would have gone to the monitor, even with one angle, we'd have gotten it right because it showed the shooter and it showed the clock at 0, which means that shot did not count, end quote. Now, officials in the Frontier have been wanting what's the word I'm looking for? The replay. For years they've wanted it. So at the end of the day, like I said yesterday, making it a little political. Tech fans right now are a little bit like mainstream media and liberals. Because even presented with facts, they're still living off the narrative that they won. They did win the conference title. I mean, you can't take it away. They won. But they actually shouldn't have. That shot should never have counted. And you can rip me, you can call me whatever you want. I have no allegiance to Carroll. I have no allegiance to any team in this freaking league. Okay? None. Okay? I used to be the radio guy at Carroll. I was fired in part by people at Carroll. President John Sack, athletics director Charlie Gross, all had a hand in me not doing what I, did, along with the radio station. It's fine. The Jason Walker Show is great. So don't give me this crap that, you're allegiance. I have no allegiance to anybody in this conference. I respect kids and the schools and the coaches from each and every school, but I have no allegiance to anybody. So that shot should not have counted. End of story. There's a whole lot of excuses made by Fisher. The only replay from athletics directors voted prior to the league playoffs was to use replay in games at the University of Providence. He's blaming cost, facilities, blah, blah, blah. Every game is streamed. You only have one angle anyway. Every game in the Frontier is streamed. Deal with it. And I can guarantee you now that Carroll kind of got screwed, I bet you next year there's replay in the Frontier Conference for basketball. It's a matter of affordability for these schools, according to Fisher. Okay, here's the thing. These schools have money. Don't let them lie to you. The schools have money. And then we're not talking tens of thousands of dollars. We're talking a couple of cameras and a TV monitor. Oh, but they can't physically have a monitor on the tables because the tables are used up. Change it. Quit making excuses for athletics directors in this conference and change things. The Frontier's a great conference in every sport. But the fact that there's not replay in basketball is a joke. And these excuses are bull. That's what they are. They're excuses. And you know what everybody says about excuses. So the shot should not have counted. End of story. I rest my case. I win. I mean, if you're a Tech fan and arguing, you lose. Congratulations. The kids played great. It was a great basketball game. Adam Haidt deserves all the credit. The kids deserve all the credit. They did a great job. And don't blame Drew Hughes for this. You blame the Frontier Conference for lack of replay. Now, last night, the women's championship game was played. Rocky snapped a long drought, winning the conference tournament for the first time, I think, since 1988. And 59-56 over Carroll. Well, the fireworks came really at the end of the game. Head coach of Rocky, Wes Keller, just watch. Assistant coach J.D. Solomon, no shaking hands. Solomon said, I don't think so. Wes Keller got pissed. Rochelle Sayers steps in between, right there at midcourt in front of the scores table. Officials are right there. Wes is really, really upset. Now, Carroll, and here's where I'm going to show my non-allegiance. And I love Coach Rochelle Sayers, but I thought Carroll showed a little bit of classlessness last night because they went to the locker room and didn't come out for presentation of the second place or first place trophies. A presentation of second place name and then the first place trophy. I called Wes Keller, left a message. I called Rochelle Sayers, no answer. I talked to J.D. Solomon, who basically said, messaged him late last night, said what the heck happened during the game. He said Rocky made a few more plays than we did. My hat tips to them. Agreed to disagree on some things, and now they are ready to move on to the NAI tournament, which everybody will find out tomorrow where they're headed. We know Rocky women will be at home, Carroll men will be at home. It's just I talked to a friend of mine who was down in Billings, has no allegiance to either school, really. And he said, sitting courtside, there was a lot of chirping between the coaching staffs back and forth. There had to do with apparently some flopping that wasn't called by Rocky players. They were flopping. This is what I've been told. And the refs weren't calling it. And that's, at the end of the day, now we've got pissed off coaches. Which, look, Twitter blew up, again, making apologies for Coach Solomon. I'm not. Should he have shaken hands? Maybe. But this goes back to last week. Should we just get rid of the freaking handshake line? Just wave. Flip each other off. I don't really care anymore. I really don't. If you want to shake hands, shake hands. If you don't, then don't. But don't make a big deal of it. So now I've got Rocky fan all pissed off. It's funny. Look, the ones that weren't there have no idea what happened. I'm relaying what happened, or what I was told what happened last night. So there you go. In addition to Rocky, and look, Wes Keller and Rocky women deserve all the credit, especially Chloe Thatcher and those girls that stuck up for Coach Keller a year ago when his administration and his assistant coach and some players decided, we don't like his coaching style because he yells at us. So he got placed on leave. 6 girls got suspended because they stuck up for Coach Keller. We stuck up for Coach Keller on this show. And it turned out to be revenge, as Keller's named Coach of the Year. His Rocky women are Frontier Conference champions, regular season and tournament. In India Fly, the Renta player for the year, wins Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Grace Leckvold of Rocky, Freshman of the Year. Providence sophomore guard Brooklyn Harn, 6th Person of the Year, 6th Player of the Year. Here's your first team Frontier All-Conference. Carroll College, Jamie Pickens, Danny Wagner. Brindley Fitzgerald of Western. India Fly, Rocky. Parker Esri, Emily Maldonado, Providence. Second team All-Conference, Christine Denny, Sienna Swanik of Carroll. Tavia Rooney and Danny Urich of Tech. And Chloe Thatcher of Rocky. Tavia Rooney is going to be an absolute beast in this league. I love Tavia Rooney's game. And she's a really, really nice young lady. So I like watching her. And congratulations to all of those. Look, we still got teams in the playoff. Now they're talking, according to Commissioner Kent Paulson, we're going to get 4 teams from the women's side and maybe 3 on the men's side. For sure, going to have Carroll and Tech on the men's side. Maybe Montana Western, apparently. Maybe. And then you have, on the women's side for sure, Carroll, Rocky, and Providence, and potentially Montana Western. Now, Montana Western had a sub-500 record, but talking to another coach in the league, huge wins in the non-conference. Plus, they beat Rocky in the regular season, beat Division II Adams State, beat American Nazarene, Dakota State, Eastern Oregon, all headed to the national tournament. So it appears that the Frontier could get 4 teams in on the women's side, which is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, thanks to the Frontier Conference for the content the last 2 days. Holy crap. And I don't care if you're a Tech fan, a Rocky fan, a Carroll fan. I have no allegiance to either one of your schools, any of them. I just tell you the facts of the case, and I present them to you, and then I let you decide. And if you can't handle the facts, then you're on your own narrative, and I can't help you. All right, we'll take a break. Because remember, wokeness is weakness. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Alex Eschelman. That's what she said Wednesday. Alex just popped on. Oh, she's doing her hair. Looks a little chilly maybe in Bozeman. She's got the turtleneck, maybe wool. I don't know what she's wearing, but she looks comfy. And we're going to talk Bobcat basketball. Something really cool happened last night. Not only the men getting a share of the conference tournament, or conference championship, but a really cool behind-the-scenes story, too. We'll talk to Alex about that. We'll talk women's basketball with the Bobcat women. How do they bounce back from the Lady Grizz loss? And much more. That's what she said. Alex Eschelman coming up. The opening segment of the Jason Walker Show, brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. Check them out at yourcustomlog.com. They are family-owned and operated, veteran-owned and operated, women-owned and operated, milled, handcrafted, and timber frame. Your divisions, yourcustomlog.com. Coming right back. Alex Eschelman joins us next. Hang on.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle, it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Lance Hartzler is going to talk Grizz athletics coming up. And also on this day in history. Can you hear me now? I don't think she can hear me. Can you hear me now? We'll see. All right. Anyway, this is... There we go. We got her. Okay. Hold on a sec. I guess I got to turn the music down. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. Now we have to do this.
We always hear from the guys. What about the ladies? Time for That's What She Said. Brought to you by Dinners Done Right.
Her name is Alex Eschelman. She is the best in the business when it comes to talking sports. Nobody does it. Like, you could break. You're better than Adam Schefter.
Jason, I can't hear you. Cut out again.
Oh no! Did we cut out? Are you there? Okay. Here. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do our old standby. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, we're gonna work off of this.
We're gonna go old school, and we still got video, so that's good.
I love it. That is totally fine. It happens. Technical difficulties happen every day in our business.
100%. So I was telling you, you're better than Adam Schefter. You're better than definitely Rob Manfred, and that's really loud. But you are the best. Her name is Alex Eschelman.
Oh, gosh, I don't know about that. So I can hear you on the screen now, so hopefully we can hang up.
Okay, let's try that. Does that work?
I think so. But you don't have to compliment me like that. That is definitely not true, but thank you, Jason. I appreciate that.
Hey, I know we got a lot to celebrate if you're a Bobcat fan, but let's...
And now I can't hear you again. Oh, no, we're having some technical difficulties.
Goodness. All right. Did you hang up?
All right, hold on here. I think we can...
We're going to make this work.
I'm going to turn my computer all the way.
Okay, we hear her.
Okay, I can hear you.
hear you on my phone.
Can you hear me on
And
computer?
now I'm going to turn the volume down.
My computer,
There.
so I can just hear you on my phone. How about that?
Good. How's that?
That's working fine for me.
Perfect. You're the best. Okay. I know we got a lot to talk about as far as celebration, but let's go back to Saturday night and Sunday. Not good performances by either the Bobcat men or women up there in Grizzland. Take me through it.
Well, it's interesting. I forget who I was talking to yesterday, right before the start of the Southern Utah game. But at least for the men, we were just saying that they could never gain that edge. They could never get the lead and kind of run away with it. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't get that energy up to get ahead of Montana. Montana just kind of owned that series, really, and just stayed dominant for the most part throughout that game. But I said this before for both of these teams, home court advantage is so important in this rivalry especially. And I do think that the chips that both the men's and women's teams had on their shoulder of Montana State kind of recently being dominant in this rivalry, this was the night that they pulled off a sweep for
the men and the women.
Yeah, no, it was, and the women really weren't in the game, it appeared. They came out flat. Danny Sprinkle said it about the guys, too. They came out flat on Sunday, but
exactly.
The women and they couldn't shut down Carmen Gfeller, and that's a big thing. If you can't shut down her, if she gets going, man, she's a tough one, and she can shoot it. And they just played great defense, Lady Grizz did.
Definitely, and Carmen, career high 32 points. Doesn't get much better than that, right, Jason?
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Alex Eschelman joining us. So that you got to rebound, you bounce back. It's that time of the season where you got to brush it aside and move on, and the men did.
Right.
Last night, a huge win, no controversy like in the Frontier, but the men come out with a dominating double-figure performance and get the big win over a very good Southern Utah team. What was the atmosphere like in the Brick last night after the game and the Cats clinched the share?
Gosh, Jason. Well, I think it's safe to say that Montana game was far from being on their minds, especially after clinching a share of the Big Sky regular season championship. The atmosphere in the Brick last night, I just feel so grateful to have been able to experience some really historical moments in Montana State athletics throughout this year, and that was one of them. And you could feel it. You could feel the energy. The confetti started to fall once the final buzzer happened, and seeing Coach Sprinkle run out and celebrate with his team and look at his family, and he's just brought something that has been missed for a long time back to this program. And you can see it. We've had a number of players on Bobcat Insider throughout this season, and I've asked about, what has Coach Sprinkle taught you so far, blah, 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 whatever. And every single one of them start off by saying his work ethic and how he works at, studying film, teaching the guys. And Coach Sprinkle always says, I'm hard on these guys. I'm not necessarily being all buddy nice to them. Like, I am being as hard as I can because I know their potential and I know the potential of this program. And he's a winner. He's a competitor. He wants to have the same type of success that he had as a head coach or a player for the Bobcats. So to be able to see him celebrate was really special. And then for the team, just so the amount of smiles. I was leaning over to Ashley Washburn. I was thinking it in my head, and she said it to me. She goes, look at all of the smiles on the bench. And Tyler Patterson, Nick Gazales, every guy had a big smile from ear to ear on their face. And it was just so awesome. It was a really, really special, unforgettable moment.
Alex Eschelman, ABC Fox Montana, SWX sports reporter, joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, thanks to Dinner's Done Right. Couple of things that stood out. And I know Sean Rainey, your boss, talked about it while you had the interview with Coach Sprinkle. And then Ashley from your competitor, but you all have to be good friends in small towns. She shared the story.
Even if we're in a big city, I am not going to be like that.
No, I know you're not. But tell me the story about the nets, because that was awesome.
Yeah, I don't really know how it came about. I just know that at one point, Coach Sprinkle pulled out a piece of the 96 net, and I was able to ask him about it in that post-game interview that I had with him on SWX. And he carried it with him as a piece of good luck and as a reminder of all of the coaches and the players that came before him that have brought success to the program, which just speaks even more to the type of person that Coach Sprink is. And I mean, there are just little things. Even the fact that he takes the time to do a post-game interview with me multiple games out of the season is not many coaches would do that. And to have the poise that he does and to be able to have detailed answers and explain the story, but in a very professional way every single time, to be able to see him walk up to his, to all the fans, every single game, every single home game, walk up personally, shake people's hands, say, hey, thank you so much for coming, to the kids in the student section saying, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Just speaks to how much of a class act he is. And it speaks to the expectation that he has for this program. But looping back around to the 96 net, what an incrediable moment, right? Him holding the 2022 net next to his little tiny piece of the 96 net. Really, really incredible moment.
I was at the game in 96 when he scored 30 as a freshman against Weber State to win the conference title in the tournament. That was fantastic. I mean, it was awesome. A couple other great scenes from last night that stuck out to me. Not only the English connection, I think the 4 or 5 guys, but then everybody in the team taking the trophy over to the student section. And it goes back to, we talked about this. Danny Sprinkle said in his introductory press conference, those students will be a part of this program and make it successful. And they thanked them last night.
Yeah, that was just another special moment. Really, it was a moment in Bobcat athletic history that I will never forget and feel so grateful to have witnessed. So after they put their T-shirts on, got their hardware, took some pictures, were hugging everybody, hugging their teammates and coaches. Amin Adami was holding the trophy, and the entire group just ran over to the student section as the student section was lined up waiting for them. And they were all just kind of in a circle, looking at each other, looking at the trophy, hyping each other up, and the students congratulating the players saying thank you for coming. I mean, you just don't see that. You don't see that camaraderie at many places. So to be able to have witnessed that, and then a couple guys got on the ground and started doing snow angels and the confetti, it was just such a happy moment.
Okay, I'm going to try to show something. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this, Danny Sprinkle, Waded Cruzado, the hug with the trophy. I mean, how cool was that? I mean, it doesn't get... President Cruzado has done so much for athletics at Montana State and academics, but for athletics at MSU, and to understand that was the guy they needed to hire a couple of years ago, and she's been as big a part of the success as Danny Sprinkle has. And we'll let her get a drink of water. I'll show the video again. How's that?
Up there. Need to get water. But yes, President Cruzado, she's just so personable, and she's so genuine in everything that she does. Even when she walked in before the game, I was able to exchange a handshake with her, and she's just so personable and so welcoming. Even if she doesn't even know you all that well, she makes you feel like you're a part of the team and you're a part of something. And that hug that she and Coach Sprinkle shared after that big win, and along with Leon Costello, just kind of the three of them seeing each other, hugging each other, and celebrating the success that the program has just accomplished. again, just a happy moment. One of those moments that you aren't thinking about anything else. You were really purely just enjoying every second.
Alex Eschelman joining us here real quick. One more final thought on last night before we talk about tomorrow. But there's a couple of people that deserve, I think, a lot of credit in addition, and maybe more so than Cruzado and Costello and Sprinkle. Bethany Cordell and her fiance and her little baby, because ever since the little baby's been born, is it little Sam? Is that right? You've got a football championship, a national tournament final appearance, and now a Bobcat basketball championship. Not to mention the volleyball team played well, and indoor track and field ran really well last week too. So Bethany Cordell, I think, and her baby deserve a lot of credit.
They might be the good luck charms. You never know. They might be the good luck charms. But yes, Bethany definitely deserves a shout out in everything that she does as well. She's very, very good at her job. She is just a trailblazer from a female perspective in the industry. And on top of it, she's a really adorable baby. And they are just a really cute family. And they're at every single game, just true Bobcat fans. And that's just a perfect example of the type of fan base that the Bobcats have. It's very loyal. They're there every single game, and the fan base last night was definitely electric.
All right, tomorrow night, Sac State, huge game, because if you win, you're outright champs. They can finish no matter what, they're the 1 or the 2 seed, but they can outright win the conference title tomorrow night in the Brick. What do you expect? Or is it Saturday night?
Well, Sac State is tomorrow. Northern Colorado Saturday.
That's right. Okay.
So I do think that I believe you're right. I'll have to double
I know
check
they've got
that,
the share, so they can't finish it lower than 2.
Right.
But if they win tomorrow, they win outright. Or even Saturday, I think they win it outright. So it's a big weekend still. I mean, 4 games in 6 days. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes, and we can just sum up these next 2 games. I think that, like I've said all season long in this podcast, or not podcast, radio show, the whole thing. This program has had a chip on their shoulder since the start of the season, and X even said it. He said that was a big reason why I came back and a group of us seniors came back, is because we wanted to do this thing right. We wanted to finish it out strong and as strong as we could. And for them, and he even mentioned last year's championship, to go out the way we did last year in the championship and lose, knowing that they have the potential to be able to have a different outcome this season, that is the mentality. In talking with the coaches, a bunch of the coaches last night, they said, we're going to celebrate till midnight. We're going to enjoy this one until midnight. But as soon as the morning comes tomorrow, we are all in and focused on Sacramento State and Northern Colorado to finish this regular season outright. So I expect, knock on wood for the Bobcats, I'm expecting 2 wins. I think the sky's the limit for this team.
100%. I mean, they've got that 11-game win streak that they had earlier in the year. So definitely, something cool. All right, real quick on the women. They got 2 big road games. Where can they finish as good as or as low as? Have we done the tiebreakers on the women's side yet?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know exactly how high, as high. They can win the whole thing still. Is that correct?
I think so. Well, they're a game behind Idaho State, or a game and a half. And I can't remember what they did. Did they sweep Idaho State? They split with Southern Utah, who's just below them. Let's see here. Idaho State, they won by 5 and lost by 10. So I think they can finish 1. They can finish no lower than 3, I think is right. So
that sounds right. Again, that is something that I will double check. They do play tonight, which is big deal.
Yep.
And I do think that I think that, again, Coach Ben, how amazing she is, both as just a coach and a person. She's been here 17 seasons. She knows what it takes to have the type of success that she's had. I do think, especially when it comes to March, anything can happen, but I do think that this women's Bobcat program just needs to be playing their absolute best basketball these last couple of games.
Yep.
They haven't been as strong on the road as they have been at home. But I do think that Coach Ben, when I spoke with her about, the mentality going into these last few games, she said, we just need to play together. We need to play together. We cannot fall behind. We need to be playing our best basketball as one unit. So I think any team, that's the best part about March.
Yeah.
You never really know what can happen. So wishing the best for the Bobcats, but we'll see.
Well, there's two schools in the league that are above 500 on the road. Idaho State's 7-6. Southern Utah's 8-7. The Bobcat women are 5-8. You don't have a lot of success on the road in the Big Sky. So if they can get 1 out of 2, that would be huge. Before we let you go, Alex, big weekend last weekend there as the Bobcat women, track was huge. Lucy Corbett, Duncan Hamilton heading off to indoor track championships. That's pretty cool. Elena Carter, by the way, from Helena, our auto contest performance of the week, school record in the 60s. They had a really good weekend last week at the Brick.
Oh my gosh, another amazing moment. Lucy Corbett, Elena Carter, all three of those athletes really stood out to me, but the celebrations, I'll go one by one. Lucy Corbett, when she hit that 6 foot 2 1/4 mark, the Brick erupted. It was so exciting. It was arguably the most exciting moment I've ever experienced at a track meet. It was so cool. And she came off the mat smiling. Just kind of glowing, so excited. And then Elena, and all these athletes are so nice too, just such good humans. And Elena, when she ran her race and tied her best career time, she was smiling, clapping, looking at her family up at the stands. And we know that her family is a historical Bobcat athletics family. So that was a really special moment. And then Duncan, I was actually able to speak with his mom, Jason, and she was so sweet, taking pictures of her son as well as the rest of the athletes. And I just saw them after the mile, they embraced just the biggest hug. And you could tell how much he meant to her, she meant to him. It was a really special moment.
How awesome was that 4x4? Were you there for that?
Oh my gosh.
That was unbelievable.
So I'm upset because I was on a deadline at that point. I was finishing editing my highlights and wasn't able to get that highlight. And I was like, no, that is the highlight of the entire meet right there. That is it. So thankfully, Big Sky Conference got some good footage and pictures of that. But holy cow, what a way to end the entire championship.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It really went out with a bang. It was so cool.
Real quick, you got 10 skiers, MSU headed off to the NCAA championships, which is big, and tennis into the national rankings for the first time in 17 years. I think 64th or 65th. I know the Grizz are just above them, but lots of great things going on down there at MSU Athletics.
It's a great time. It's a great time to be a part of Montana State. It's a great time to live in Bozeman, to be a part of. Obviously, we could go on and on about whether you could go down a long road about whether the growth is good or bad, or change is good, bad, whatever. It's, in my opinion, it's a great place to be right now. It just is, and you can feel the community, you can feel the excitement surrounding the school, and it kind of just floods into the rest of the town.
There were two tweets I saw today that sum it up best, and you basically just said it. But Robbie Whittle from NBC Montana said, it's a great time to cover the Cats. And Leon Costello said, every day is a great day to cover the Cats and be a Bobcat, basically, is to paraphrase. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's awesome. You got Eastern AA in Belgrade this weekend, starting tomorrow. You're going to be busy.
I know. It's going to be fun, though. It's
Okay.
going to be what we live for, Jason.
Watch those Bozeman boys, the West girls. Those are probably going to be your winners of the divisionals down there.
We'll see. It's March. Anything can happen.
You're absolutely right. Alex Eschelman. You can check her out, ABC Fox Montana sports reporter, also SWX. You're on the call Saturday with Chris?
I am not. I'll be
Okay.
a part of the broadcast during halftime.
Okay.
But other than that, I'll probably be getting highlights,
Gotcha.
kind of doing similar things to what I did last night, going live for SWX and getting highlights and doing some coverage for them. But I will still be a part of the broadcast.
Tell Riggsy to wear the same shoes because those are good luck. He was blue and gold
I don't think
out
you tell
last
him
night.
about that, Jason. I think that he is very dialed in with his shoe game. He probably already knows to wear his blue and gold light up shoes.
Oh, those were great. That was a great video of you, the three of you last night on Twitter. You can check her out on the Twitter. She's all over social media. She is Alex Eschelman. Appreciate the time, my friend. Hopefully when all this craziness ends, we can all of us media people that, we can get together and have some adult beverages.
Absolutely, Jason. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
Sounds good. Alex Eschelman joining us, Jason Walker Show. She is the best. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and when we return, we'll check in with Lance Hartzler. He is from 406mtsports.com, and he will join us. When we return, we'll talk Grizz athletics next. Jason Walker Show. Hang on.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Final segment on a Wednesday, final segment of the week. Remember, not here tomorrow or Friday, back Monday, recapping divisionals, recapping and get you set for the Big Sky Tournament. We'll also know where the Frontier teams are headed for the NAI opening rounds and much more. But that's all on Monday. Got a little golfing to do this week, so going to go do that. Before it gets super crazy with tournaments next week, where we'll be in Missoula, the State A. And in Missoula is where we find our next guest. He is the great sports reporter for the Missoulian, 406mtsports.com. His name is Lance Hartzler, and he's here to talk Grizzly sports now on the Jason Walker Show. All right, man, a very successful weekend if you are a Grizz fan because you get the sweep over to Montana State basketball squads. And the women, to start there, the women doing it quite handily. And the Bobcat women just couldn't buy a bucket, it seemed, in Dahlberg.
Nah, man. I mean, Carmen Gfeller, I think she scored some odd 30-some-odd points. I'm pulling up the stats right now, and she dominated. I mean, she had 34 points. She really kind of carried them this weekend and in that game. I think she got Big Sky Player of the Week for averaging 20 points over the weekend sweep. 34 points is a career high in front of 4,000 fans. Like, that's what they needed. They needed someone to have a breakout game to beat the Cats, and they did, and they beat them 71-57. It wasn't all that close.
No, it wasn't. You and I talked last week, Lance, about that. Is who besides, if Fatkin can't go or Sophia Stiles, you mentioned Carmen Gfeller, and that's her, career high. She's always been known as a good sharpshooter. Much like, I believe, her brother that played there a few years ago. But she definitely got the minutes, got the shots to fall, and a much-needed win for the Lady Grizz.
Oh, absolutely. It's exactly what they needed. Honestly, you can't really rely on Carmen Gfeller doing that every single game, so you kind of got to figure things out going forward because you can't expect her realistically to do what she did this weekend, 20 points per game and on average in both games with the 34 coming against Montana State. I mean, yeah, that's a lot to ask, but if you can expect that every once in a while, like that's what you need right now. And because who knows when Sam Fatkin's going to be back? It doesn't seem all that optimistic when she'll be back, if she'll be back for the tournament.
Right, yeah, no, it doesn't really look good. Now they've got a couple of big games with Northern Colorado starting tonight, I guess, on the road. This is a crazy thing because much like the men, we'll get to the men's standings here in a second, but the Lady Grizz can finish, I think, anywhere from third all the way down to seventh. So depending on what happens this weekend, is it must-win mode? I mean, basically, I know you're taking it game by game, but you've got to win in order to have these.
I mean, yeah, I think it's really must-win mode. I think my personal take is once you hit February in general, once you hit even late January, every single game's a must-win if you're shooting for a bye. And that's what they're lucky, I guess, in the sense that they've been able to survive Fatkin's injury and still be in the hunt for a third seed on it, which is crazy to me that they can't even get that high. But as you said, they can finish as low as 7th. So the margin of error is slim and none with 2 games left.
Yeah, they're at Northern Colorado tonight and then Sac State on Friday, and then they head off to Boise for the conference tournament starting Tuesday if they get that first round bye. I mean, but if they lose 2, Lance, they're going to fall and have to play Monday night. So they'd go Wednesday, Friday, travel from California to Idaho, and then play Monday, potentially.
Yeah, and that just sounds awful. Like, that hypothetical just sounds not like a fun trip.
Right, yeah, no, exactly. Big games, though, in the women's standings for sure, and especially for those Lady Grizz. And obviously we don't know if Fatkin's going to come back, but it's going to be nuts. Let's switch over to the guys, and because that is an absolute crazy scenario. I think the Grizz men can finish anywhere from 2nd to 5th. They've locked up a first-round bye, but they had to. Let's talk about the big win over the Cats first. They had to hold on, but they got off to a quick start and never really looked back on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and Danny Sprinkle said it best. It looked like Montana just blitzed them. I think Danny Sprinkleman noted after the game that he felt like his team came out lethargic. They came out without energy. And Montana, coming off that collapse against Southern Utah, they looked like a team that wanted to show they're better than those type of collapses. We've talked about it all season. I feel like I write about it weekly. That's what the team has had to overcome. game in and game out. Yep. They jumped out to a hot start. They looked confident. They weren't scared of Bello, even though he had a great game. Like, DeCure gave hats off to him. He played great. But they didn't look scared. They took the fouls that were going to come. It was 50 fouls total. Scott Blakeney, I think, almost fouled out or did foul out. Derek Carter did foul out. Mac Anderson didn't even play. There wasn't a lot of guys to throw at Bello, but they didn't back down. They guarded him just about as well as they could. They threw just about every single big they have at him. Kyle Owens played really solid against him, baiting him into some offensive fouls, getting a couple steals off just Bello not really seeing where Owens was positionally in the post, just kind of making life difficult. And that they turned those points real quick, those turnovers real quickly into points, and that's where I think the difference was. Yeah, Montana's offense was rolling. Yeah, Montana State didn't hit a lot of threes. They had actually one of their worst nights of the year. Montana turned those turnovers into points, while Montana State, they didn't really do that. Right. Like the turnover differential was something that I overlooked actually on Sunday.
Well, and it's crazy as we talk to Lance Hartzler here, 406 MTsports.com reporter, also Missoulian.com. Josh Bannon, you talk about Bello having a huge game. Bannon, I think, had, 19 in the first half? And there was no answer for him from Montana State defensively in that first half. Much better in the second half, but what was your take sitting there watching it?
I think we're seeing the maturation of Josh Bannon. He's had a lot of flashes this year. He's had a lot of games where you're like, wow, he can really carry the load offensively, but can he do it when we really need a bucket? That's what he showed. He showed the ability to get the ball and go make a play happen, which it's kind of weird to say that of a guy who's who's like a back to the basket power forward, but he showed it off the bounce. I think he blew by one of Montana's forwards. I think he might have been Bello from the top of the arc in the first half and blew by him for a two-handed dunk. I think Bannon only has 3 or 4 dunks this year. We haven't seen that happen much, and he exploded to the rim. And then in the second half, I wrote in my recap, he took the ball in the post, made one shimmy shake, and rose and shot a fadeaway jumper in the lane, and that basically sealed the game and stopped any momentum Montana State had in that last minute. He showed the ability to actually take over a game, and that's something this Grizz team has been in dire need of.
Yeah.
And I've always thought it could be Bannon. It's just he's a sophomore. It's hard to expect that night in and night out, you know?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just forget. I mean, they're 19, 20-year-old kids at times. Brandon Whitney, another good game, though, for him, and solid performance.
Yeah, Brandon Whitney is he's the kind of their engine, I would think. Defensively, you know what he's going to do. Yeah, Xavier Bishop had 26, 27 some odd points, but I think we were talking in the media circles after, he did it quietly. So a lot of it was from the free throw line. A lot of it was when Montana couldn't really contest his shots because of foul troubles. But Brandon Whitney is going to make his life difficult, and looks like he did. And then offensively, he made big buckets. Any type of offense Brandon Whitney gives you is perfect because he expends so much energy on defense. If he can give you 15 to 17 points on offense, that is just wonderful.
So we talked a little bit on Twitter last night, talking with Lance Hartzler, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. All right, take me through the Big Sky standings. We know the Bobcats have clinched at least the share, can win it outright in their next game, I think tomorrow night against Sac State. But the Grizz, anywhere from 2 to 5. So the top 5 are locked. It's just a matter of seeding between really, I guess, 2 or 1 and 5 still.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We know who the top 5 teams are. That's Montana State, Weber State, Southern Utah, Northern Colorado, Montana. 1 through 5 is set. We know that Montana will be the number 1 seed or potentially the 2 seed if some other stuff happens. So they locked into, at the minimum, they're the co-regular season champs. They control their own destiny. If they win tomorrow night on Thursday against Sacramento State, they win outright. They're the number 1 seed. The Grizz can somehow, I was shocked looking, I did way too much time poring over the standings and scenarios for a story that's going online in an hour. The Montana men's basketball team can finish second if a 3-way tie between Southern Utah, Weber State, and Montana happens. Montana has to beat Northern Colorado in this scenario for that to happen, and Southern Utah needs to lose to Idaho State and beat Weber State. That's a weird split this weekend. But if all of that happens, because of the way the tiebreakers work, Montana would be the number 2 seed.
All right. So Weber State, or Southern Utah has Weber and Idaho State. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay, so potentially they could lose Idaho State, which has some strange wins this year, including over the Grizz.
Yeah, they smashed the Grizz. It wasn't close.
Right, yeah, and that was the weekend that wasn't a good trip with the Weber the couple of days before. So theoretically or hypothetically, where do the Grizz finish?
I think. So what do you mean, like what I think?
Well, I guess. So in your opinion, forget the hypothetical stuff.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'd say they're probably going to be in the 4-5 game. When it comes to that one, the seed doesn't matter.
Right.
If you're 4th or 5th, right? It's the same game. I think that's what will happen because it's also the most likely, just looking at all the situations. You can't expect Southern Utah to beat or lose to Idaho State. Northern Colorado, it's no guarantee Montana beats them. And if Montana loses to them, they are locked into the 4-5 game.
Okay. And the only thing that matters in that is what color uniforms you're going to wear, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether your lights or your darks.
No, there's absolute. We're just picking hairs there. It's no difference.
Well, I mean, the Grizz are 14-1, and they didn't wear their home jerseys on Sunday. They wore their away jerseys, so they're not really 14-1 in their home jerseys, but they're 14-1 at home.
Right. Yeah. So, they're not doing so hot in the maroon.
4-10 on the road. So maybe you don't want to wear that maroon. It's just weird because I know the Cats in that 1 or 2, and then after that, who the heck knows? It's just, this is why you get paid the big bucks to figure this out, though. I
don't really think the seeding matters because it's all about matchups, right?
Yeah.
But among that top 5, outside of Montana State and Northern Colorado, so like specifically Southern Utah, Weber, and Montana, they all went 1-1 against each other. Montana has gone 1-1 against all of them. Southern Utah has to play Weber State still. If they beat Weber, then that series is split. So most of the top 5 has gone almost 500 against each other as like a grouping. It's been close.
That's crazy. That's really, I mean, when you look at it, that's absolutely nuts. And then you look at the bottom half of the standings. Eastern and Portland State are 2 games back. Portland State are they still that dangerous team?
I think so. I think they're a team you do not want to play. They play such a different. I mean, they beat Weber State last weekend, 81-75. They play a style that really no one in the Big Sky plays. So you have to prep it so differently for them. The closest I would say is Southern Utah, but they don't play as defensively hectic.
Okay. Well, whatever they're doing lately is working. They've won 3 straight, as has Sac State. So the Grizz, Northern Colorado, is tomorrow night.
Yep.
I actually, SWX wanted me to call the game, but I'm on a golf trip tomorrow, leaving for Idaho tomorrow, so I couldn't. Otherwise, I'd have been calling the Grizz game tomorrow night. But that game will be on SWX, and then the Cats play Sac State, and then the Grizz play Sac on Saturday.
That is right.
Okay, and that wraps up the regular season then.
Yep.
Okay. I have no idea who's playing who anymore. I just know we don't have baseball, which sucks.
There's not a lot. I mean, I'm stoked for conference tournaments. Obviously, all of them a lot have already started. I mean, I'm hyped for March Madness.
Yep.
But it's bittersweet, this is ending. Like state championship weekend for basketball next weekend. It's all coming to a close, and we get that awkward time before the rest of spring sports start.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely nuts. Speaking of real quick, Grizz opened up spring football camp today. Any word from Frank Gogula on what's going on over there?
He's actually got a story coming up online within the next couple hours. As far as I understand, he's going to head up practice here soon. He's got some storylines to watch out for with Grizz football.
Shan Schillinger leaving, that's one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a very big one. And then what did I see? Their tennis team did pretty well. I don't know.
Well, that you cut out a little bit.
The tennis player of the week, right? Ed Pudney.
Yes, Pudney. I think they're 4 for 4 is what the press release wrote. They are just killing it with a Big Sky player of the week. Which is pretty much dominating against that league.
Yeah, and he's won it twice. Montana's 4th.
Yep.
What's really cool, though, Montana's men's tennis team and the Bobcats ranked 63rd and 64th in the country, which is pretty cool for both.
Grizz actually moved up to 62 today.
Oh, did they? Okay. Well, as of Monday, they were 63, so they're up to 62. See, that's just another thing that eGriz can have over Bobcat Nation right now on the websites our tennis team is better than yours.
They're really doing that, huh?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying that's the rivalry, man.
I was gonna say good for them if they're pulling that card. They should. I mean, the Grizz are 9-0.
Now I have to go check. Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, looking forward to seeing you. We can talk in person hopefully next week at the State A tournament. I'll be there Wednesday through Saturday, so we'll get you on the air in person. How's that?
Oh, it sounds great to me. I won't be, as far as I understand, I won't be covering a ton, but I'm going to have plenty of time being in town doing other things.
There you go. Enjoy the hoops this weekend, and thanks for joining us, and we'll stay in touch for next week.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy Idaho.
That is Lance Hartzler joining us, 406mtsports.com and Zulian.com. You can join all of our guests via the Mike Miller State Farm hotline. It's not just a bundle, it's your home, it's your auto, it's your life. Mike gets that. He understands it. And it is Mike Miller State Farm in Helena. Big stuff coming up. Lots of basketball. You can go to 406mtsports.com, get all your score updates, the latest of what's going on in divisionals. Some of them started today. Everything else starts tomorrow across the state. And then all the state tournaments next week. Going to be so much fun. All right, let's do On This Day in History. It is March 2nd. It is Ash Wednesday. It is National Banana Cream Pie Day. It is Old Stuff Day. And Read Across America Day. It's Dr. Seuss's birthday. 1874, the National Association of Professional Baseball Players officially adopts the batter's box, decides that any player betting on his own team will be expelled and any player betting on any other team to forfeit his pay. Joe Malone in 1918 goes scoreless in the Montreal Canadiens' loss to Toronto to end the season, finishes the first NHL season in history with 44 goals, a record that stood until the 1944 season. 1940, beaten by a nose in both 1937 and 1938 Santa Anita handicaps, Seabiscuit finally wins the Big Cap in his final race, retires at the time the leading money-winning horse in the world. Also on 1940, the first televised intercollegiate track meet seen in New York City on W2XBS. NYU wins the meet live from Madison Square Garden. It was on this date 60 years ago today. Is that right? 1962. Is that 60 years? Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game. It went 36 of 63 from the field, and this was the rare part. And not a good free throw shooter, went 28 of 32 in the game. But the 100-point game from Wilt Chamberlain came on this date, 1962. 1972, American jockey Bill Shoemaker wins his record 555th stakes race aboard Royal Owl in the San Jacinto Stakes at Santa Anita. Eddie Acaro had 554 wins. 1993, Mario Lemieux undergoes his 22nd and final radiation treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then that night joins Pittsburgh and Philly, has a goal and an assist in the game. Mentioned Dr. Seuss's birthday in 1904. Richard Neil Tuff-Hedeman was born on this date in 1963. He is 59. His face is 27. On this date, 1933, Thomas J. Walsh, United States Senator from Montana, died of a heart attack at the age of 73.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off is presented by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Pasta Zydeco on tap for dinner tonight. Sounds good. You could also get some catfish, shrimp and grits, etouffee crawfish or shrimp jambalaya, gumbo, shrimp and corn chowder, and so many more great items. Cafe Zydeco, best Cajun food this side of Louisiana. Great week today. We want to thank all of our guests: Katie Garson-Forba, Brandon Day, Ben Dudek, Guy Almquist, Alex Eschelman, Lance Hartzler. So many great times. We appreciate you all. And we appreciate our great sponsors and our fans, too. We're off for the next couple of days as we go to Idaho. Back Monday with a recap of the weekend. There's going to be a lot to talk about on Monday, including AA divisional recaps, other divisional recaps. We'll get you set for all the state tournaments coming up. Billings, the AA. A is in Missoula, B in Bozeman, C in Great Falls next week. And we'll get the Big Sky tournament going as well next week. And we'll know where the Frontier teams are headed. Who will the Carroll men see at the PE Center? What 3 teams are coming aside from Carroll? And then who's going to end up in Billings with the Rocky women? Where does the Carroll and Providence women go? Where do the Tech men go? We'll tell you. You can also follow social media at Jay Walker Sports. What else did we learn this week? Well, we learned that, shot clocks are needed. But replay is needed as well, especially in the Frontier Conference. A shot that shouldn't have counted that won a conference tournament. And seeding now in the NAIA tournament is on the line. But a shot that never... You had the Bobby Thompson shot in 1951, right? The shot heard around the world. The Giants win the pennant. The shot home run off Ralph Branca, the Dodgers. Well, this is the shot that shouldn't have been heard. But you move on, right? And one of the questions we're going to ask next week going into NAIA is, can Kurt Paulson win the big game? We'll ask that question next week. All right. Had a fabulous week. Enjoy your week. Go to jasonwalkershow.com if you missed anything or want to rewatch anything. And we'll do it again Monday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be nice to each other. Enjoy some of the nicer weather. And we'll see you back here on Monday, 4 o'clock, The Jason Walker Show. Presented by Capital Collision Center.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.